Morning. Today is Off-Grid Nerd Christmas. Yes, the post has been. And we'll have a look at some of the things I've got, which I'll be installing over the next couple of weeks. This current trip I'm here for pretty much until there's a flushing toilet. So plumbing is the main job of this trip. So if I'm lucky, it'll take 3 weeks. If I'm unlucky, it'll take more than 3 weeks. But the other thing I need to do is get the electrical work done, get some solar going, have the plant room mostly wired up, basically wired up, because extension cords everywhere isn't really cutting it anymore. So I've gotten to the point where I need to actually wire everything up. And as you saw in the earlier videos, yeah, I've got those NiCad batteries, and here some things have turned up for that. So what have we got? So in the post, to start with, a whole bunch of these things, and I'm thinking these are PowerPoints. Yes, they are. So these are these lovely the design's a little boxy, but anyway, it'll do. But they're GPOs with little USB slots in them, because these days you might as well put both in. And I wasn't sure as whether or not these came with a transformer, which I assume they would, but you can see on the back here they definitely do. So that's good. So we've got some GPOs, we've got some cables for the solar panels, so they're ready to go. We have an isolator switch for the solar panels, so this is quite a large one. So I'm running, in the end, I've bought 3 kilowatts to start with, so 10 300 watt panels, and I'll run them in series, because the other thing that we've got here, coming right in close to the camera to get it out, is an inverter. The solar panels haven't turned up yet, but a small 3 kilowatt inverter. So this is the MPP solar inverter, and it's a, as I said, a 3 kilowatt inverter. What's interesting about this model though, this one's the PIP 3024GK, is that it will support panel voltages up to about 500 volts DC. So that allows me to run a high voltage, which means smaller wiring, and also we would hope more efficiency. So to begin with, those 10 panels, I'm just going to run them all in series and see how that goes. But I'm going to run between the plant room and the roof 6mm cable, so that should give me a little bit of headroom, because I'm thinking I'll probably end up with, in the fullness of time, 6 kilowatt of solar panels, so probably 20 panels at 300 watts each. But we'll see how these, I've only bought cheap Chinese panels, so it'll be interesting to see in later videos how many watts they actually are. So inverter, PowerPoints, you can never have enough trail cameras. We have an undisclosed number already on this property, and we're adding another one. We're trying a different brand. The other brand we had was the Swan Outback Cam, which are really good. They've got a really odd user interface, which does take a while to get used to, but once they work, and once you get used to that user interface, they've proven to be very reliable. And we've already caught one person coming into the property on the camera near the front of the property, and our friends at the police couldn't get over the quality of the video, and so we got a very good mugshot of that guy, and his number plate on his car, and so anyway, he won't come back. I've had a chat with him. Now this is a little more interesting, if I can get them out. So the other thing that's turned up amongst all of this, if if you can guess what it is. This might give you a little more of a hint. Bit more of a hint. These are two parabolic 700 megahertz aerials. So these are going to be for getting some decent 4GX up here. So the tower is that away and runs at 700 megahertz and is about 4 kilometres away. As you can see, obviously there's a fair bit of tree interference, but generally line of sight isn't too bad. We're a little bit higher here than it is. We're certainly not lower than it, and the ridge fortunately is on that side. We might get the tail end of it, but I've been running some small omnidirectional antennas that they say they're 7 dB, but at 700 megahertz they're probably only 3. This fellow is supposed to be 14 dB. So hopefully I can get a tower to put over the high side over there. Pretty much the highest point of the property is just on the, well, not the highest, but the highest practical point of the property is just over there, really, where you saw that wallaby just go past there. Now, there's some old transmission towers, like electricity transmission towers, smaller ones, just down the road laying on their side there. There's about 5 or 6 of them in a paddock. So if I'm lucky, the chap who owns those might like to sell them to me for scrap. So if I get those, I'll use those and hang these off them, and probably a wind turbine as well. They're not all that high. They might be, they'd be 10 metres high. So as electricity towers go, that's pretty small, and they look to be fairly lightweight. So hopefully I can get some of those. There's a town fair or country fair near here on the weekend, so hopefully I will bump into that chap and see if he wants to sell me those, at least one of them anyway. But so that would be quite good. If not, I'll just put a pole up and give it a go. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see how these go with the omnidirectional antennas I've already got. Maybe get a megabit down, but nearly nothing up. So I've got 2 of these, so we'll do them in a 45 degree MIMO configuration and see if we get some better service out of that. So anyway, I think that's all I've got. I've also bought some 50mm conduit to run the solar panel wiring, the DC, and also the AC for the gatehouse there. That's about all I've got, I think. So anyway, just a quick... Oh no, hang on, what else we got? Some lugs for battery wiring. They're surprisingly expensive. And I think I've also got some pliers here somewhere for doing... Oh yeah. Some pliers for doing crimping for the, what are they, MC4 connectors, the solar connectors. I'm probably going to solder them anyway, but I'll crimp them and solder them. So again, these are one hung low brand. Oh yeah, they seem to... Quality seems okay for the price. Again, eBay special. Yeah, so anyway, so that's how you have it. So that should, you can see me install some of this over the coming couple of weeks, and I'll do some more videos as I do it. Thanks for watching.